head toward a final decision. Those opposed to the consent decree, citing we, the Ferguson Collaborative, have not had the opportunity to study the city's estimated costs, but those from other cities with consent decrees are often inflated, including costs that would have been necessary in any event. Neither can we accurately estimate the cost of litigation plus the cost of implementation after litigation. Which path will truly be more expensive? We do know this. Not being able to afford this agreement and not wanting to afford it are two very different things. Yes. If the lives of our people and the soul of our community are worth it to us, we can make it affordable. We have an example to show us the way. Cincinnati, Ohio went through an investigation and forged an agreement with the Department of Justice. Cincinnati now has one of the strongest community policing plans in the country. It worked because the civil rights attorneys, the activists, the police, the nationalists, the business people, the police union, the clergy came together, and with the DOJ and the city of Cincinnati did the hard work of coming to an agreement. They did not stop there. Their Citizens Collaborative identified those things that were most crucial to rebuilding their community, those things that were expensive but vital, and they started raising funds. The Collaborative of Cincinnati raised $5 million to help fund their agreement. This group has come to Ferguson repeatedly, meeting with community members, organizations, people in city government, the Ferguson Commission, and have reached out to us over and over again, offering their expertise and their contacts to help us do the same. And they aren't alone. New Orleans has reached out to us. Portland reached out to us just this week, and they're saying, we've been there, we've done this, and how can we help? Speaking recently, the reality and the spirit of this proposal mirror many recommendations of the Ferguson Commission. The implications are enormous for funding opportunities to help us accomplish the implementation of both Ferguson's consent decree and action items of the Ferguson Commission. Furthermore, regional support could be leveraged for regional change. Imagine, for example, funding that supports Ferguson, but also underwrites a regional table of police chiefs and community members who learn from Ferguson's example and in turn get support for making similar changes. Or perhaps St. Louis County could be reimbursed for taking on parts of the decree. Data tracking, for example, that are contracted to them because they're technologically equipped to handle them. This is how Ferguson can lead the region. Some people say they want to raise funds to fight the Department of Justice. That fight will tear apart the already fragile fabric of this community. With few exceptions, the provisions in this consent decree are good. They are how most people would like our community to function, and they're aimed at progress, not punishment. Why not raise those funds to do the right thing? To create a stronger, healthier community, throwing off the burdens of structural racism that have oppressed our friends and neighbors for far too long. This is not only Ferguson's problem, this is St. Louis's problem, this is America's problem, and people all over are willing to help us find the money, come up with the resources to make our community safe and equitable and just for all. If you'd like to read more of the Ferguson Collaborative's analysis of the proposed consent decree, we've got it on our Facebook page. Counsel. Hello, good afternoon, audience. I'll be addressing everybody in the room today with my remarks. I think it's very important that we start off at the very beginning and remember exactly why we are all gathered here today, because we sure weren't talking about politics and collaboration on August 8th. On August 9th, the DOJ didn't just appear after Mike Brown was shot. Murdered by Darren Wilson. Mike Brown was stopped because of a manner of walking charge, one in which the DOJ cites as a problem, and the way that so many of our black and brown and African American and Latino brothers and sisters are discriminated against in this community and St. Louis County as a whole. Proper oversight, accountability, and training initially, we would not be in this place. A manner of walking charge should have never been a reason for an 18-year-old high school graduate, soon to be a college student, to have been shot dead no matter what the actions were, and proper training could have prevented this. The second part was when we called for accountability on August 10th. We were marched from building and building and building and building when folks just wanted to see the press conference. And if people were continually denied their rights to democracy, to express themselves, that's when the protest began. It began as a chance to get information. It began as a chance for you, Mayor, and the remaining part of this council to take the reins of your community and set the record straight. But instead, privilege was
Yes.
Folks here today have acted like there's been no help since Mike Brown has died, but $11.7 million has been spent on police force from around the state of Missouri. I am confident that that same money could be put to better use rather than police overtime and hits on our streets with tear gas. That could be better spent for training. If we sign the consent decree, we have the chance to mandate that this happens, but we cannot expect it to happen alone. It does not happen on its own unless there are people that are willing to take to the streets, that are willing to come to these meetings and speak to you. And there will be no way that that can happen if we do not get the basic respects of democracy, and that does including making sure folks that are voted into office 3-2 are making sure that they have their seats at the table. I would encourage you to take the reins to lead. I would encourage you to take back the leashes of so many that have run amok in this city and done so much problematic to this city, and take those reins back. And for the citizens that are concerned with the money, I guarantee you it is more expensive to continue to bury the children of the city than to just do what's right.
Yes. Yes. Say it. Say it.
Speak forward. Speak into the microphone.
So good morning to the members of the council and members of the community. Thank you all so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Cora Faith Walter, and several months ago, during a time when many people were, and many people are, still leaving this community, my husband Tim and I made the decision to move to Ferguson, where residents of Ward 2. Now the challenges that we face in Ferguson are no secret. This year the world was given a first-hand look at how systemic and institutionalized inequality, discrimination, and marginalization of one group of people in a community can lead to the destruction and the downfall of an entire community. However, despite these challenges that were on display for all of the world to see, and many of the people in this room to feel, some people like my husband and myself also saw the dedication, the commitment, and the resiliency of this community, and decided that we wanted to be part of such a community and help bring about positive change and real solutions to bring the community together and move the community forward. So we are investing in this community because we have met some of the most amazing people who really give us faith in its future. We are preparing to buy our first home, our forever home, right around the corner from where we sit today. We are putting roots down in this area. We plan to start a family here, and if my husband's prayers are answered, that family will include little black boys. And if both of our prayers are answered, we won't have to worry about our little black boys as they walk home from their Ferguson schools. So today, I urge you, members of the council, as you weigh your decision on whether or not to adopt the consent decree, to consider more than just the immediate impact of your decision. Think, too, about the long-term implications of your choice. What sort of message do you want to send? What sort of statement do you want to make to people in this room, to people in this community, to people like my husband and I, who are making one of the most important and scariest decisions of our lives by putting all of our life savings into this community? What life history do you want to be on?
That's what my parents
What sort of legacy
Yep.
do you want to leave?
Yep.
In closing, I want to leave you with this quote as you consider whether or not to adopt the consent decree by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort or convenience, but where he stands at times of challenges and controversy.
Yeah.
She's already gone. We'll move on then to Mr. Bob McGarland.
city managers,
Mike.
city staff.
Can't hear you, sir.
My name is Bob McGarvin, 25 years resident of Ferguson. As I stated on Tuesday night, I am in favor of community policing, more citizen involvement, civilian review board, court reforms, and amending city ordinance that brings about positive change to our city. As we can see, the city has taken a proactive approach in the last year and a half to bring about some of these positive changes. In the last week or so, I've spoken with three of the council members and the mayor about how the DOJ has approached this consent decree from the beginning. We have to first look at what we'll have accomplished in the end with this decree. I believe by some miracle, if we don't go bankrupt, we will pour thousands of hours of time, millions of dollars of money, and people resources into our small little city to bring about all the DOJ is requiring us to do. Yet in the end, all the surrounding municipalities, St. Louis County, St. Louis City, and the rest of the state will be doing the same policing and courts as they've done in the past. Council members have been negotiating with the DOJ, told me the same thing. In the first hour of sitting at the table, they asked the DOJ to become a partner with us. Work with our city and police department to create a first-of-its-kind community policing model and court models that could be implemented into police departments and cities around the country. Our council members have continued to ask for this, yet the DOJ has said no all the way, and you can see for yourself, this is what 9 months of negotiation has gotten us. I urge the city council to be united and do not approve this decree. Go back to the DOJ and say we want a partnership with them to create models of positive change that in the end spreads across the country. Where Ferguson shows the country that from the sad tragedy events, we can become a hope for others. When you have a partnership, you don't need a monitor because the parties involved are working together, not against each other. If the DOJ doesn't want anything to do with this approach, which has the most positive outcome for everyone in the end, then we'll just go to court and fight with every last dollar for what we believe is better for our citizens, for the city of Ferguson and our region. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bob. Would you please be so kind as to take the microphone and hand it to Mr. DeMine, who is next, that is head of the line.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Judge Chestnut had a really good question about the consent decree. Will the police department keep violating people's constitutional rights and doing racist, predatory policing? Will they continue to, dump people out of their wheelchairs and hit them and steal their phone for filming on the sidewalk in violation of the existing restraining order? If the police department can't comply with an existing restraining order, maybe you really need a consent decree because, the consent decree has to tell you not to lie in police reports. Are they going to continue? If you don't have the consent decree, are they going to continue to lie in police reports when they arrest you illegally for filming on the sidewalk, and then the prosecution continues to prosecute you, until 2 weeks ago, and when the charges were mysteriously dropped after, the video of our arrests were mysteriously disappeared. Will elderly white ladies be able to continue to drive through Ferguson for 6 weeks with a broken taillight while elderly black women take 7 police cars to pull them over for driving too slow?
Right.
I can't see the timer. I don't know how long I'm talking here. Okay. So, I'm just gonna get this up.
We do have these, several of the names we do want to get to them. There has been a request to take a short break. We are going to, the council is going to stand at ease while we take a quick break. We'll get back hopefully in the next 10 minutes. We'll say 10 minutes, which is a very quick 10-minute break. So if you